The flood. The black cockatoos gathered, screeching at each other. A shadow passed overhead as they flew above us, flashing red underneath their black wings. Rain was coming. You could smell it in the air. The wind rattled the corrugated iron roofing. The straight ghost gum at the back of the house swayed, dropping branches that made a whipping crack as they hit the ground. Relentless rain battered at the tin for hours. I chanted a mantra over and over. Please stop raining, please stop raining. The rain continued, and we battled to light the fire, even with the use of kero, its blue-hued liquid fizzing against the damp kindling. Endless hours became days. Wet, wet, wet. We watched the river, held our breath. The water rose like a monster waking from slumber. Water covered the rocks and trees and crept steadily upwards. Please stop raining, please stop raining. I wondered if the water had ever covered our little hill. The water was so fast and strong. Trees sailed past, roots and all, some stopping at our crossing downstream and creating a new bridge for us, or a diving jetty, a new place to play. If it stopped raining, the river would drain away into the sea in as many days as it came. If it didn't stop raining, then we'd be stranded on our little island, bound by the river on one side and the creek on the other. The only way out was along the saddle out the back, a narrow ridge now made narrower by the rising waters on either side. And if it didn't stop raining, we'd run out of food because there's only so much to be picked from the garden in winter. Please stop raining, please stop raining. There was a meeting. I don't know how word got to us. There was always someone willing to travel around the bush, regardless of the weather, regardless of the situation. In my mind's eye it was Maddie, but I don't know for sure. The majority agreed that everyone should take what they can and head out to town. We were adventurers on a quest, carrying bundles of clothes on our backs. There were children, babies and dogs of all shapes and sizes. Some of us were good at being on an adventure. Others grizzled and wanted to be carried. It was a slow trek along the bush tracks, then out onto the road, wet, slippery and muddy. The tears from heaven were finished, so my need for chanting was over, but the water was still rising as our convoy trudged along the rain-soaked earth. At the river crossing, we assessed the situation. The roiling brown water was angry and thrashing at the riverbank on both sides. How would we cross even with a thick cable attached to a tree on both sides of the river? The taller, stronger people took bundles and kids on their heads until we were all safely on the other side. It was a long day, this adventure, and we crossed 4 more rivers. Mama said we could have hot chips at the co-op in Burmie, but after a while the promise of that salty greasiness wasn't enough to keep us going. We didn't really care about it and just wanted to sleep. It took all day to walk to the Yarrie post office, where we kept our car. I fell asleep as soon as we got in it to drive from Yarrie to Bermagui. The co-op was quiet by the time we got there, almost closing time. We took our chips to Alan's house up on the hill overlooking the sea. It wasn't raining there, so we felt like we were in another country, even though the river house was just over the mountain and down in the valley. The chips did taste good though.